Good morning.
Morning.
The other Eric, come on up. I brought the big guns out. You want to introduce yourselves and
Sure.
why don't you show up, Eric?
Good morning. My name is Eric Simon. I serve as the Vice President and CFO at McDaniel College.
Eric, give your address, please.
My current home address,
College.
On
college address, 2 College Hill, that is Westminster, Maryland, 211157.
Good morning. I'm Chief Eric Imler. I'm the Director of Campus Safety at McDaniel College, 2 College Hill, Westminster, Maryland.
Okay. You want to request additional locations be added to your liquor license.
That is correct.
Well, you seem to have so many of them up there, so please refresh our memory as to the locations,
Current,
please.
oh, I got my laptop, hold on. We currently have up under our campus locations, the Auburn Suite, which is attached to the football stadium, Coley Rice Lounge, which is attached to McDaniel Hall, the Gill Center, the Raj Center, and Alumni Hall, which is the theater.
How many is that?
5.
Oh, okay.
You have 5 and you want to add 6 more.
That is correct. We believe these additional 6 captures all of the locations that our various departments use for events for over the course of the year.
Is this the only copy we have?
Yeah, I guess. Inspector Benford, what kind of license do they have?
They have, Class H, hotel catering license.
Is there a map?
Do you have a map?
No, but I can pull one up that will help.
There are numbers behind, on your letter, there are numbers behind each new location you're requesting. What do those numbers mean?
Those numbers are, they coincide with the campus map that shows the building location.
Do you have a campus map you can give us?
Sure. May I approach or
Sure.
plug in?
Well, it would be best, but I don't know if that's how feasible that is. Or approach whatever is easiest for you.
I don't know if I can do it. Let's see if I can. Take up there for time, see if I can.
You're getting a no.
Oh, unless, if it's online, you can. If it's online.
That's all right. I think,
just want to try to bring them back so they can see the map. Yeah.
Keith, if you just Google search McDaniel College campus map, it should be the first link.
so what is Rembert House?
The Rembert House is a location next to the entrance of the golf course. It is a place that has like a small meeting room, and it also has an apartment in there. So typically we have some events in there.
Okay, so it has a meeting room that you use for events.
That is correct.
And who lives in the apartment?
It is vacant.
Okay.
Every now and then, if we have individuals interviewing for a job here, we will house them there.
And Carroll Hall is what?
Carroll Hall is the building that is attached. That is the building where our admissions, oh, sorry,
36.
36, that is Carroll Hall. That is the building where our enrollment team is located at. So we have events with parents there all the time.
Enrollment team,
That is the admissions team. So those are the individuals that invite students and parents to campus to visit, and alumni.
so I take it has an area where there can be gatherings and
That is correct.
some sort of entertainment.
That is correct. On the first floor, and we're also looking at, there's a large porch area to the rear of the building. So if you're coming out West Main, I'm headed towards campus. It is that building at the top of the V. So if you know how it splits, you can go right or left. That building right there is Carroll Hall.
So in Carroll Hall, there are two places, two rooms
That's
that you
correct.
would like to have events.
Correct.
What else is in Carroll Hall? Are you asking just for those two rooms, or are you asking for the entire building?
The building is mostly administrative, except there is a large reception area on the first floor.
Is that included in your request? Are you asking for the entire building?
Correct.
Okay. I guess Hoover Library is a library?
That is correct. But there are several meeting rooms in the library.
How many of these rooms, if any, are on the left-hand side? Going towards Balkers, across from Little Chapel? Any of them? Any of these rooms?
I'm not sure I follow the question. Can you repeat, please?
When you go up Main Street, you go straight through to Balkers.
Okay.
You got buildings on the left and parking area and so on and so forth. Are any of these requests in any of those buildings on that side of the street?
Carroll Hall. That's the only one.
That's the only one.
That is correct.
And Peterson Hall is, can you just give us a brief description of
So
what?
the Peterson Hall, it is primarily an academic building, but the third floor is an art gallery. And so we do have events there over the course of the year.
So really, you would, for Peterson Hall, you're just interested in the art gallery, you're not interested in any other parts, any other floors?
That is correct, because those are all academic spaces.
Right. And we don't want to give a liquor license to academic spaces.
Correct. That's fine.
I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I'm just kind of like thinking out loud,
Mhm.
because this is all new to me. This is the first time seeing any of this. And of course, the chapels are chapels, I guess.
Correct.
Your standard worship area.
Correct.
Where do you, all these locations, do you have a central location that you store your alcohol products?
Correct. That is in Engler Hall, which is attached to Raj. It's all one building. They keep it all centralized there. There's only one department that's authorized to enter that space besides campus safety, and that is our third party caterer. So departments, faculty, staff, they're not allowed to enter that space.
You always use the same third-party carrier, I think.
That is correct.
And who is that again?
That's AVI Food Services.
I'm sorry?
AVI Food Services.
ADI.
AV.
ADI?
AV. That's correct.
And campus security is always present.
Yes, sir. For all of our
In all areas where it's served is controlled.
Correct. All the areas that we have, any of these events are cordoned off to whatever degree, whether it's the natural room that it would be in or any barriers that we would install.
I'd like for you to provide us with a easily read map of all the locations. If we approve,
Like a hard copy?
yeah.
And I want to make a note, all their employees with the third party are alcohol awareness trained also. Anybody who's going to be serving the alcohol.
All ADI employees?
Yes.
And I think the last time you were in here, or maybe a couple times ago, recently you had something, and I think you mentioned stadium. That area there, is already covered?
Yes, I believe we were looking at the on the actual stadium track, which is typically when we have parent weekend. We usually invite them onto campus and we put up a tent on the track. We're not adding that location because we're getting ready to redo that track, and we don't anticipate having that event on the track anymore.
Didn't we just issue a one-day or okay for something there?
Yes. For what we talk about.
What
for
he's
the-
talking
on the
about?
track, yes.
I don't remember a tent, that's the reason I say it.
But it was a tent during homecoming weekend.
Okay.
And there's a suite upstairs in the stadium that they used, has permission, prior permission. to
That's
use.
what I'm thinking about. I thought there was an area in the stadium somewhere.
Is the suite
There is a
upstairs?
suite that had prior permission.
Yep.
Right, suite upstairs, we've already granted that.
Correct.
Yeah, so moving forward, we won't be having any more events on the track because we'll be pushing everyone up to the suite that's already covered.
Would you have any problem if we just limited the art gallery and Peterson Hall?
No. No.
I don't know if anybody else feels that way, I'll just,
What do you mean limited? To the area in the?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm with you.
just where they would have events for alcohol. There's other parts of the building that
I
serve other
agree.
purposes.
I agree with that. Rookie, you got any questions?
Nope, sounds good. Go McDaniel.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
So that would make a total of what, about 11 or so locations?
Yes.
Orient map or something like that?
That's
You've
correct.
got 5 now, and there's 6 on this letter.
That's correct.
The fact that campus security is here makes me comfortable with the request and what they've done in the past.
To my knowledge, we've never had any problems in the past, but anyway.
Can I make one request? When they submit the map, can they submit copies of all their certificates for the alcohol awareness for AVI employees?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Raises a question. Since a licensee has to be trained, and they're making the application, what problems does that pose?
I believe the letter, who made the application is the licensee who submitted the letter. Is that what you're asking? I don't know what,
Technically, that's what I'm asking, but if it's on the college property, the college have the license?
there's,
Currently, yes, we do have the license. We,
College has a license if
Vice
Eric,
President?
if Eric is listed on the licensee.
No, he's not. There's only one
Yes.
lady, there's only one lady listed on the licensee.
That's my question. She has to
She-
be alcohol certified.
Yes, she does.
She is.
She has been trained, she came to one of the classes.
And who is she?
Janelle Hombo. The way it works on our current campus is that we're more comfortable with AVI being responsible for serving the alcohol. So we don't serve alcohol. If there was an event in which that we found the need for actual staff to serve alcohol, we would work with Keith to make sure everyone's training. But currently, we don't employ that model.
Yeah, this was just a formality. Our rules require that licensees have that training. And doesn't necessarily affect how you do business.
Sure.
Any objections?
No.
Okay, if you will provide us with a hard copy of the locations and agree that in those 2 situations or whatever it is, that in academic areas will not be available.
Sure. Will do.
Anything else for college?
And the certificates.
If not, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and keep up the good work. See if you can't get a winning football team up there sometime.
They won the first game of the season this year. I'll just leave it at that.
I guess we could go get Monk Campbell and Bill Shepard and them guys to come back, but be kind of tough locating them.
Is that with leather helmets and everything?
Ooh, we still have the leather helmets, actually.
You have any other first-time applicants? No? Okay. Let's go back with routine business. A letter from Brooks Leahy about changes in ownership interest in Sheena Associates LLC, Cranberry Liquors. Is that Pete's whole outfit, Cranberry Liquors? Yep.
Pete Samuels?
Yeah.
No, since I've been.
At one, a long time ago, yes, it was when it was on the corner, it's next to Giant. When
Yeah.
it was on the corner, they moved, it's since,
Oh, yes, it was Pete Samuels.
that's the liquor store he used to own,
He used to.
yes. But it was on the corner of the shopping center.
That's where menswear or somebody else was in there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I'll let you look at that and I'll look at it.
So basically, I knew him for driving, so I knew was.
This, anything that we have people come in, testify in person.
So our rules only require that they notify us, right?
And then we, business meeting whenever we have to.
Yeah, since it's not a change of corporation.
Yeah, it's just, looks like
Agenda.
One
We have to start at 10.
Ashish Parikh is,
We can't start early. 'cause
Giving
we
his
have it.
shares up.
No, we can start later because it runs over. But
okay.
Any objection?
No.
Next item is notice of the January hearing to be held on the third Wednesday, January the 15th.
county attorney.
In this room, there's a conflict. Joe will be in the room on the second Wednesday, I assume anyway, but not for us. No?
Actually, that conflict went away yesterday.
Oh, is that right?
Everything has been posted and advertised, so, yeah, the case that was gonna be on the 8th got postponed.
So please make the change. It's the third Wednesday, not the second Wednesday. Let's skip the discussion of rules and regulations and go to the last item on the agenda, upgrading license.
We've had several restaurants that have come to us and they have a Class B beer wine license, and they want to upgrade to a Class beer wine liquor license. I can't find anything in rules, there is no state rule saying they had to have a hearing. I did talk to Dave, and a suggestion's been made, talking to the board, is they come in for part of the business meeting and give us all the things, requirement for the change, the menu, but that's the only thing really added. The licensee doesn't change, the corporation doesn't change, location doesn't change, it's just their business is doing well and they want to upgrade to liquor.
Hours of operation doesn't change, nothing
Hours of
changes.
operations don't change. I can't say that because it might actually expand, they might actually add, because then if they
Increase.
go to a liquor, they have to do 2 meals compared to doing the 1 meal.
Okay, so that is, if,
But it all depends on the license and what they want to do.
does a Class B beer, wine, liquor require a menu change for some?
The entrees and the 2 servings a day, unless they went to a BR, which does the 1 serving. So I can't answer that until they actually come present us with. But most of them are doing, but what the business is doing much better, so they want to upgrade to get the liquor.
You have any recent requests?
Yes. They're in a holding process. They're waiting to probably beginning find out what we want to do and how we want to handle it, and probably beginning of the year, we'll probably have them in, if we want to do a business meeting. Other ways is they would have to go through a hearing, we have to pay a $500 application fee, advertise it, and do all that stuff, and I don't see any point to having it besides making money.
So you don't see any reason for public notice that the license is being upgraded? I mean, I don't know if there is or not, I'm just asking this as a rhetorical question. Does the public have a need, or should they have a right to know that there's an upgrade from beer and wine to beer, wine, and liquor? I've never thought of that.
I never think about it either, good point. I think most people, if they see a liquor license, they think they have beer, wine, and liquor. If you look at just, you know, a restaurant saying, you know, they have a bar, they think they have beer, wine, and liquor. We could advertise, we could still post it and we post it in the business meeting, on the newspaper, like, and this listed as a business meeting. They come at 10 o'clock for a business meeting. If the public wants to attend, they can attend.
All right. That
In
makes
the
sense.
past, we very rarely have anybody ever attend those hearings for new licenses. So I don't see anybody showing up for an upgrade license.
We don't advertise business.
Okay, I thought we did. Okay,
Put it in the newsletter when it was
put,
bid.
okay.
Mr. Legal Eagle? You have any thoughts on it?
If you want to be customer friendly, then I think it's an accommodation to existing licensees. So I don't have a problem with it. As long as we put notice of it somewhere that people can come if they want, when they're asking for the liquor.
If
So we put,
if we post it on the premises like we do now for new hearings and so on and so forth, does it have to be advertised?
Well, usually we have the advertisement and the posting.
Yeah.
So is just the posting enough?
Well, I'm going back to what you say about some other things. That's the way you've been doing it for years. We're just trying to get there.
I think it's really up to the board. I mean, it hasn't happened, it won't happen too often. Do you want these establishments to go through a whole new hearing, knowing that the licensee's the same, the establishment's the same,
That was
hours,
our- no,
everything's the
nothing.
same except they're adding liquor? I mean, that's up to you guys, whether you want them to go through a new hearing.
Well, that's the purpose of Keith and I, when Keith asked me about it, that my reaction was what he just said, that it's just, nothing's changing except instead of getting a glass of beer and wine, you're gonna be able to get a Manhattan. It's the same people, it's the same operation, so forth. Alls I think we're at now is, should we post for the public in some manner that application has been made to upgrade?
How about this? How about having the applicant pay the cost of a newspaper ad? How much does it usually cost to post something like this in the Carroll County Times, if that's what we use?
For one ad, it can run, depending on the size, because if I was gonna run an ad, it would have everything else in it. It can run like 180 to a little over 200 something.
I don't see why we have required to do that. I think if we post it on the business and we send it on the email for other businesses to know, I think that should be sufficient.
They're not the public, though. That's my point.
It is the public, we
notice.
post it out in front of the building, and people walk by who come to that place, that's the public. That's people who, in that area, who reads it. I don't know how many people actually look at those little hearing notices where 2x2 on the 10th page of the second section of the Carroll County Times.
Is the,
Well, when you post for a zoning issue, you place a placard on the property,
Mhm.
and you put something in the paper, yes or no?
Yes.
I think we should do the same.
Can your public notice be considered putting it on the, because this information is on the website, the Carroll County website, right? Carroll County government website every month,
Agenda.
the agenda. Could that be considered public notice?
Hmm.
Tim? I mean, I would think.
The more we put it on the website and not call it a hearing, you know, you're making a special rule. I don't have a problem with it, but you're making a special rule that we have hearings, you know, we have the,
It's a business
Business
meeting. It's,
meeting?
it's a discussion of a license on a business meeting. It's not a hearing, it's a business meeting discussion.
Yeah, so right now, we have no rule to cover this.
Correct. Nothing I can find, only reason, because we always used to do it. And that's the only reason I came up with, is we used to do it that way.
Do it what way?
Let's
We
go
would have a
ahead.
whole hearing. When they want to
Hearing.
upgrade, we would have a whole hearing.
Okay, okay. So,
And I just can't figure, being business friendly, I think it's much easier to do a business meeting, have them come and talk about it, than having them go and get MVA record, go and get a driving record, criminal background, go fingerprinting, paying
I
$500,
agree completely with
fill an
that.
full
Convince me.
10-page application,
You don't have to convince me, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering about, the twist of, does
But it's not a hearing. I don't think it's considered a hearing.
we may not be considered a hearing, but it's a change in a license.
It's a change, McDaniel College is a change in the license.
The public might have an interest. I don't know if they do or not, but it seems to me that it might be something for us to talk about. Does the public have a legitimate interest in knowing of this change? That's my question.
Okay,
And,
just,
and you say no. Okay, I got it, all right. I don't know.
All
how I
right,
feel.
with that, let's drop that. Our 10:30 is here, I assume?
I hear her voice outside.
We'll pick it up after.
Okay. I really don't know how I feel about it, but
That's a business owner. If I'm, my business is doing that well as a beer wine, I held a liquor license, beer wine, and my business is doing so good. Yeah, the option of adding that liquor onto it, they probably have the $180 to pay for the ad.
yeah,
It puts a little bit of responsibility onto them, a
Either
little
one.
bit of bonus on. Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, it's
On the
not a
other
huge
hand, it
cost.
also, expanding the business is a
He
huge.
asked me about it, and I said, I don't think it's necessary to have here.
Yes,
But I
they
think
do.
It'd be nice if they would come in and tell us.
They have a copy.
Just present it.
Because
Now
I
we're
didn't bring
getting
a
into-
copy machine with me.
The
I was
business
gonna say,
agenda,
So,
you posted as well as the business agenda as well as the notice of hearing.
I'm counting.
Put them both on.
Bill, that'd be nice.
and you guys that
He's
month,
the new part-time
Put
inspector.
them both in.
It's very nice to meet you.
I mean,
Cause when-
again, it's 30 days notice, so
Yeah.
prepare that 30 days in advance. So we just add that on.
Okay, 10:30, Mr. Dixon, will you call case 6534, please?
all right, case 6534, an application for the transfer of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license from Sparrow Ventures LLC to Old Well LLC to be issued to Kunal Patel for the use of Old Well LLC trading as Piney Run Liquors, 6300 Georgetown Boulevard, Suites 125 to 127, Sykesville, Maryland, 21784 in Election District 5. And to follow this matter, we have the following documents. Notice of public hearing, November 29th, 2024. Notice of public hearing, November 22nd, 2024. A comment memo to Belinda Gassell, Collections Office with the box checked. The above referenced establishment does meet the requirements of this office, signed Belinda Gassell, Collection Supervisor. A comment memo to Lisa Staley, Health Department, and the box is checked. The above referenced establishment does meet the requirements of this office. There's a November 5th, 2024 letter from Joe Vance to Mr. Kunal Patel. There is an October 31st, 2024 letter from Kelly Schaefer Miller to the board. And the letter includes an application, it includes character references, it includes criminal background information. It includes a driving record, a naturalization certificate, a workman's comp insurance information, a lease, articles of organization, operating agreement, SDAT cert, purchase agreement, financial information, bulk transfer application, plot plan, floor plan, and other licensed establishments. I would ask that the file be entered into evidence.
We'll accept that in evidence. At this time, I would ask all those who intend to testify, please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in by Ms. Vance.
Everybody stand up.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You all may be seated. Good morning, Ms. Kelly.
Good morning.
You're on.
I'm on. Thank you. Good morning. Kelly Schaefer Miller, 73 East Main Street, Westminster, Maryland, 21157. I am here this morning on behalf of the applicant, Oldwell LLC. I think most of you are probably familiar with this establishment. This is Piney Run Liquors. It's down in Eldersburg. It is currently owned by Sparrow Ventures, who is Ralph and Susan Sparrow. They are also here today in case the board has any questions of them, but this transfer is being requested as part of a transaction where this store is being sold to Oldwell LLC. So if we are granted this approval here today, then the transaction will then occur shortly thereafter, transferring the ownership of the store. All supporting documents have been provided as part of this application. Assignments of lease have been negotiated and are contingent on this transfer occurring, so everything is in line and ready to go. And we are here today to put on testimony that supports the transfer of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license in the Eldersburg area of Piney Run Liquors. So with that brief introduction, I will now put on Mr. Kunal Patel to testify, and then after he testifies, I have 3 character witnesses who are here to speak on his behalf as well. So, Mr. Patel, can you please start by stating your name and address for the board?
Good morning to all board members. My name is Kunal Kanupai Patel, and we're living at 8312 Governor Ridgely Lane, Ellicott City, Maryland, 21043.
Kunal, is it accurate that you have applied today to this board for the transfer of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license known as Piney Run Liquors?
Yes, that is correct.
Is everything that was part of your application package still true and accurate today?
Yes.
Okay. And is it accurate, you heard me say in my opening statement, but is it accurate that you are the contract purchaser of this store?
That is correct.
Okay. And if this approval is granted here today, do you intend to keep the store trade name as Piney Run Liquors?
Yes, I will keep the same one, yep.
Okay. And you stated your address, but can you confirm that you are a resident of the state of Maryland?
Yes, I am.
And are you a member of Oldwell LLC?
That is also correct.
What percentage ownership interest do you hold in that LLC?
It's a 90%.
Okay. And who are the other members of that LLC?
There is another member called Mahindra Patel and Daksha Patel, and they own like a 5% of each.
Okay, so there are 2 other members, Mahendra Patel and Daksha Patel, and each of those will hold 5%, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. And how do you know those individuals?
They are my extended family members.
Okay. And do you know them well enough to enter into a business with
Sure, I am, yeah.
them? Okay. Now, do you have any experience in the packaged goods industry?
Yes, I worked for the 2 years in the same package goods store, like similar kind of package goods store before.
Okay, and where was that?
It was located in the Pikesville.
Okay.
It is still there, but it's in Pikesville.
As part of working in that store, did you ever receive a violation?
No, never.
And are you, as part of working you are a clerk in that store, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So in working as a clerk at that store, do you have experience in carding individuals and ensuring age compliance?
Yes, I am aware about those. Okay.
Okay. Can you explain to the board, you don't currently work in another store, correct?
Not now.
Okay. Can you tell the board what you do for a living?
I'm working as an ad network administrator with the local contractor, and yeah, handling the inventories and other stuffs, like managing and dealing with the customers. Also, our customers are like a State Department customer. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
So as part,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch much of that.
Okay.
I have hearing issues.
Working as a network administrator.
Hey, what?
Network administrator.
So computering and?
Yes.
and-
Yes, and controlling all the inventory stuffs at our offices also.
Okay.
so as part of your current role, you organize and manage inventory,
That is correct. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And do you believe that that experience will also lend itself
Sure.
to
Definitely.
managing this store?
Yeah, it will definitely help me.
Okay. And to clarify your intended role in the store itself, Piney Run Liquors, is it your intent to have a manager of the store other than yourself?
I will plan for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And is it the intent that the manager would have experience in the
Experienced
industry
person. Yeah.
as well?
Sure.
Yes.
Definitely. Yep.
Okay. And do you intend to keep any existing employees who
Sure.
desire to stay at the
Yes,
store
I
as
will keep the
well?
existing employee. Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
So your role will not necessarily be a there from 9 to 5 every day role. It will be an ownership role where then you delegate management.
I will definitely. Yeah, I'll keep coming the store throughout the whole day. You can say that.
Okay, so you will
Minimum
have a
6 days in a
presence the
day. Yeah. Minimum 6 days in a week.
Okay.
And you can say from 9 to 9, from opening to closing hours.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And in terms of the operation, have you discussed how you will be training all of your employees?
Sure, I will. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you went through the TIPS, is it TIPS?
Yes.
Is this TIPS?
Yeah.
TIPS.
The TAM certified.
The TAM
Yep.
certification, I'm
This is
sorry.
the TAM certification.
Mr. Benford, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
And have you discussed having all of your employees TIPS or TAM certified?
Sure, I will. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
the store's
The
intent
mandatory.
is to have every employee TIPS
Yeah.
or TAM
I will
certified?
keep mandatory this thing. Yep.
Okay. And in addition to having every employee TIPS or TAM certified, will you also independently train them on policies of the store?
Yes, there will be in-house training also. I will arrange for them.
Okay. As part of that training, will you accept vertical IDs?
No, we don't.
Okay. So there will be no acceptance of vertical IDs, and that will be part of what you teach any clerks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just had that question twice in my list. Will, you intend on having a point of sale system, correct, for the
Yes.
store, just
Yes.
as it does currently?
Mhm.
Will that point of sale system have a scanner where you can also
Yes, it
scan
does
an
have.
ID?
Yep.
Okay. In checking an ID, will employees also be prompted to scan the ID for validity as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with that. Yep.
And is the intended policy a card-all policy, meaning anyone who walks in the door will be asked to present an ID?
Yes, we will ask them. Yep.
This is an existing store, so there is some existing signage in the store related to carding and checking IDs. Do you intend on maintaining the signage that is present in the store today?
I will keep those as it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Moore, he said he's going to card, I was looking at this.
Card-all.
Right.
Card-all policy, yes. A floor plan was submitted with the application, but is it the intent that the floor plan will be staying the same?
Yes, it will be the same.
Okay. Aside from a change of ownership, are there any other changes you anticipate that anyone would observe as part of this store?
Not now. Yeah.
Okay. I have explained to you the state's attorney's diversion program, where this board works with the state's attorney's office to report any violations. You're aware of that, correct?
Yes, I am aware about those.
And you intend on training all of your employees in that policy as part of their in-house training, correct?
Absolutely, I am. Yep.
Okay. You understand that although you've applied today under Oldwell LLC, that you are individually responsible for purposes of this license, and for any outreach from the board, good, bad, or otherwise, you are the person that they will look to, correct?
Yeah, I'm aware about those things.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you agree to follow all the rules and regulations of the board?
Sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
And you have a copy of that booklet,
Yes, I do
correct?
have those. Everything in it. Package. Yep.
Those are my only questions of Mr. Patel.
Commissioners, questions to Mr. Patel? Mr. Barnhart?
I think, sir, you testified that all your employees will be certified in alcohol management.
Sure, sir. Yep.
So you will always have someone on premises trained in
Yes.
alcohol management practices.
Definitely. Yep. I will. Without fail.
And you are the only member of the LLC who's on the application for the license.
Yes, sir.
The operating agreement has him authorized.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's correct.
And your experience in this type of business was
2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
With a packaged goods store in
Yes,
Baltimore
sir.
County.
Yes, that is correct.
Did you have any ownership interest in that store?
No, not yet.
Do you have a person in mind to be the manager for Piney Run?
Yeah, I will appoint the manager.
Do you have someone in mind already?
Do you already have somebody lined up to be a manager?
Not now, actually, but I will plan for those things.
But you're gonna have a role there?
Oh, my role, yeah.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Right. And
Yeah,
then you
my role
intend
will
on
be there.
also hiring a manager? is
Yes,
that-
I will have the manager also, and I will give like most of the hours at the store, definitely.
And that's what I missed when I was reading the file. How often do you intend to be at the store?
You can say the open to close, sir, 9:30 to 9. That's regular hours of the store.
So you intend to be there a lot?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, whole time.
How many employees do you think you will retain or have?
3 employees, sir.
3?
Yeah, right now 3. Yeah.
What are your hours of operation?
Say it again, sir.
Do you know the store's hours of operation?
Oh, yes,
right
sir.
now?
It's like Monday to Wednesday, you can say 9:30 to 9. And from Thursday to Saturday, it's 9:30 to 10. And on Sunday, 10 to 8. That's the current store hours.
And you only have 3 employees?
Yes.
When you add a manager, would that make it 4 employees? Is that, I mean, are you going to make one of the employees there now?
Maybe it will be like 2 employees also. I think so 2 or 3 employees are good enough to run the stores.
Either of you have any questions
No.
this time?
No.
If not, he is subject to recall. You may proceed.
Thank you. I would next call my 3 character witnesses. If you guys want to stand up at the microphone or come up, whatever you're more comfortable with. And you can go in any order and I'll just say your name.
Good morning. My name is Ravindra Mali, and I currently stay at 4210 Bethel Overlook, Ellicott City, Maryland.
Okay, and Ravindra, how do you know Kunal?
I know him socially.
Okay, so you're friends with him?
Yes.
Okay, and how long have you known Kunal?
More than 6 years.
Okay, and do you believe that he is a fit and proper person to hold a liquor license?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and were you present and did you hear all of his testimony this morning?
Yes.
Okay, those are my only questions of Ravindra.
Can you spell your name?
Sure. It's R as in Rocky, A as in Apple, V as in Victor, I as in India, N as in Nancy, D as in Deer, R as in Rocky, A as in Apple, and then last name is Mali, M as in Mary, A as in Apple, L as in Logan, I as in India.
Thank you.
Mr. Malley?
Sure.
Why do you say that the applicant is a fit and proper person? What can you tell us about his character that you're aware of personally?
So I interacted with him multiple events because we go to same temple where I meet him either weekly, bi-weekly, and many of those events we planned. I have seen him in action basically where I've seen him. He's more financially responsible. He's the one who likes to follow the rules, and he being honest and hardworking in any of the event I work with him. So that's why I believe he's the right person for this.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more questions?
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ashwin, can you please state your name, spelling your full name and address for the record?
Sure, I'm Ashween Kohli. My spelling is Eshween. Last name is Kohli. I reside at 6321 Velvet Path, Columbia, Maryland, 21044.
And how do you know Kunal?
I know Kunal. We're family friends. I'm really pretty close to his wife, so I see her often, every couple weeks, and when I see her, I get to see him as well.
And approximately how long have you known Kunal?
About six-ish years.
And have you been present and did you hear all of his testimony here
I
today?
did. I enjoyed it.
And do you believe that he is a fit and proper person to hold a liquor license?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Those are my only questions.
Questions of this witness? Hearing none, thank you very much.
Ashwin. Anil, can you please state your name, full name, and spell your full name and address for the record, please?
That is Anil Kumar Kadri. I'm residing at 8309 Governor Ridgely Lane, Ellicott City 21043. My name Anil Kadri, A for Apple, N for Nancy, I for India, L for Larry, and last name is Kadri, K for Kite, A for Apple, D for Dubai, I for India, R for Rocky, I for India.
You good? Anil is A-N-I-L.
Anil.
A-N-I-L, first name. K-A-D-I-R-I.
Thank you.
Right? Did I get that
Correct,
right, Anil?
correct.
Okay. Anil, can you please tell us how long you've known Kunal?
I know him from last 5 years. He is a neighbor to me.
Okay, so you know him socially because he's your neighbor?
Yeah.
Okay. And in your experience with Kunal, have you found that he is an honest and reliable person?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And do you believe that he is a fit and proper person to hold a liquor license?
Yes.
And did you hear all of his testimony here this morning?
Yes.
Those are my only questions of Anil.
I have no questions.
No questions?
You say you're his neighbor?
Yes, correct.
Does he mow his lawn on time?
He's a good person. He maintains
See a
the
good
community.
landscape.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. That concludes my testimony here today. I do have both, as I stated in my opening statement, Ralph and Susan Sparrow are both here as the transferors in case the board has any questions of them. I did not intend on calling them because I don't have any specific questions for them, but I will make them available in case the board wants to ask them any questions. I'm happy to call them.
And they clearly agree with this transfer.
Yes, they have signed the application packet, they have consented to this, and they are here in support, yes.
Any questions on?
No questions?
Any other questions of the applicant before we conclude the testimony? Hearing none, testimony is now complete. Would you like to make any closing remarks?
Thank you. I'd like to take a record for maybe one of the fastest hearings ever. Who knows? But I think we went through this pretty smoothly this morning, and that's really a testament to Kunal's preparation for this. He is a very motivated and organized person who I think is a great fit to take over a liquor license in Carroll County. I think he will run this store very responsibly. And I know that, I shouldn't speak for the Sparrows, but I believe they are excited to consummate this transaction. And we look forward to Kunal taking over this store. We are here today requesting your approval of the transfer of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. So with that, I would ask that you approve this request here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Inspector Benford, do you have any closing
Nothing
comments?
I want to add.
Pardon?
Nothing I want to add. Nothing.
If there's no other testimony, hearing is now closed, and this board will decide the merits of the presentation and hopefully come to a decision.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it's been our practice to generally have the junior commissioner speak first about if you have any comments. This is the opportunity if you want to say anything about this application.
Yeah, as a business owner, welcome to Carroll County.
Thank you.
Congratulations on hopefully retirement to the
Thank you.
Sparrows. And yeah, I have no questions. I'm excited to have new business owners in our county.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I will, as usual, embrace the remarks of my colleague, to my right. Mr. Chairman, I think clearly that this applicant is fit and proper person for us to approve this application to have this license. The case was well presented, Mr. Patel. The council and you are clearly organized and did a very good job, both of you. Your witnesses come across as authentic and sincere and very believable. So I accept without reservation every comment they made about your good character and you being fit and proper as well. I'm comforted by the fact that you will afford having your employees trained in alcohol management practices. That's a good way to do business, I think,
Sure.
from our perspective. And that you have a policy of not accepting vertical IDs is also a good idea. And I'm sure your counsel can tell you that this board prefers, although it's not required, this board does prefer that licensees stay out of trouble by that policy. It can go a long way in helping as long as your employees look at the IDs.
Agree with you. Yep.
And you're going to card all. That's also comforting, and you have the signage, you're going to retain the signage that's at the existing location. And lastly, I'm sure your counsel advised you of the diversion program, which is an important component of us enforcing the alcohol beverage laws in Carroll County, and especially our concern about underage drinking and so forth. And you indicated that you would make sure that your employees were aware of it, and that's another good practice. So, Mr. Chairman, having said that, unless there's any more comments from this board, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Please do.
Mr. Chairman, in the case number 6534, the application of Mr. Patel for this to be the licensee on this transfer of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license from Sparrow Ventures LLC to Old Well LLC, I move that the application be approved.
Excuse me, motion has been properly made that we approve the application of Sparrows Ventures LLC to Old Well LLC. Is there a second to the motion?
A second.
Motion's been properly made in the second that we approve the application under case 6534. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So ordered. Congratulations.
Thank you
Best
so much,
wishes.
sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all honorable board members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kelly, thank you very much for a speedy presentation.
You're welcome.
You are
I was
always,
shocked when I saw this was your only agenda item, so.
you
yeah.
are always well prepared.
Thank
and
you.
It's a pleasure to have you present them.
Thank you very much.
Joe, do we need 5? We need 5?
Thank you.
Okay. Let's get back to the discussion that we tabled in regards to the upgrade of a licensee. I think we all agree that we don't need a hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the question is whether we need to post it somehow or just invite the licensee in to chat with us. As I said before, Keith and I's discussion, and as you all know, has been commented here. We've just issued it before. So we can continue to do that or make a change. I personally don't think we need to make a big deal out of it, since there's nothing's changed other than an L put on the license.
Well, and the addition of liquor, hard liquor, instead of just beer and wine. But if we just do Is it possible, Joe, when you make your newspaper ad, if somebody is updating to add the business agenda and that to your newspaper ad and be done? I mean, it gives them public notice that George was talking about, correct?
That would,
Yeah.
I mean,
And then the signage?
yeah, I mean, traditionally, that satisfies the requirement of public notice, if there is a requirement. I don't know that there is, but there may be some people who feel that there's a public interest in hard liquor being served at a location that wasn't previously served there. That may be the case, I don't know. However, publication in a newspaper or a newsletter or something along those lines that was readily available to the public would certainly satisfy any question whether we fulfilled our duty to advise the public of what we were doing in connection with adding liquor to a location. I don't know that we have to, but there may be people who feel we have to. I don't know. Or should. There may be people who feel we should let the public know that we're adding liquor, hard liquor, to a location. And if it can be easily done,
Then why not?
then okay. And if maybe we want to pass the cost on to the applicant, because adding hard liquor to a license is fairly profitable. I don't think anyone would complain about paying $80 to have it advertised in the Carroll County Times, but that's just my thought.
Well, I would not put the entire business meeting agenda in. I would just put in as,
Just that, yeah.
just that these businesses want to upgrade.
Yeah, or could we even have them do it, or ask them to do it? I don't know, are we allowed to ask them to advertise?
No.
No,
We have to do it. It's gotta come through us.
And that's,
Okay.
if you're just gonna put that in there, then there's probably maybe a
Not a
$20
lot.
ad. I mean, so there's not really, in the interest of being business-friendly, as Joe and Keith were talking about, I mean, we want our businesses to expand. We want more business in Carroll County. And if there's anything that we can do to help them, even that tiniest little bit, and as a former liquor license holder myself, I mean, I think that's a nice perk for somebody to start off smaller with just the beer and wine, knowing that they have the option to upgrade with just having to pay the upgrade in license fee. I mean, I think that's the business-friendly to do, business-friendly thing to do.
I will say that our $500 application fees that we normally get are never totally used up by advertising. There's always excess.
Yeah, I see.
On the screen. 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Hearings for first-time holders. Next sentence. Joe Blow has made application to upgrade from a BC to a BC, DL, what the hell ever it is.
Yeah.
Simple sentence.
Yep. Yep, one more line.
It ain't gonna cost enough. Basically, it's not gonna cost any more, because you're only writing a sentence or so. Now, when you got a whole list, 2 or 3 cases or something, then you're gonna pay more, but that's not as a result of that one sentence. Can you do that?
So this is published in the paper?
Yeah, that's
Just
what.
like that.
In the
yes.
paper.
Published in the paper, right there,
Oh. Carroll County Times?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
twice,
So like I said, yeah,
30 days and 10 days, right?
it's the last 2 Fridays of the month prior.
What is
So
this?
like I said, I wouldn't put the whole
No, just
business
the,
meeting agenda. I would just put it under,
Okay,
The 10 o'clock.
that seems like a good resolution question.
we all in agreement?
Yeah.
That takes care of that. Okay, now, discussion of this wonderful book here. Which
You have an extra book, Joe?
I'm sure Joe and Keith, and Tim, and anybody else who works on this thing is be happy to put it to bid.
I'd be happy to take it out and burn it, but.
I have, George, you said 42.
Yes, Rule 42, and there's another one that seemed to cover.
49, 42 and 49.
49 that seemed to be duplicative or should work together, or one might eliminate the need for the smaller one.
I don't see why we need to keep Rule 42, because I don't see, sounds like everything's in Rule 42, the same as in Rule 49.
That's what I was thinking too, about, there's always twists and turns based on, on what we've done in the past about. But then as I was looking through the state law, I definitely did not see special, which is the heading for Rule 42. Anywhere, it's called
per
per
diem?
diem, or it's called temporary.
Right. So just change special to per diem?
Well, that certainly is more consistent with the state law, I guess.
Are you talking about on 49?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what special license is.
I do believe it was what alcohol beverage article, because I don't think per diem was, it was what per diem. They changed the wording.
So maybe special was the old per diem terminology. Okay.
And then we added line G to Rule 49 also.
Yeah, let me look. All right, so we're going to Rule 49, right?
Mhm.
Right, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I agree with everything that you did in 49, or we did.
I just want to say, and then I'll leave it alone. We have always tried to be very business friendly. And in the past, I've even had a board member call me and say, or have the person who's calling me for a one-day license say, I talked to such and such board member, and I know I'm not within the 7 days, but they told me to tell you to go ahead and issue it anyway. And we've just always been, in my mind, very customer service oriented with the one-day indoor licenses. And I have no problem with if it's a brand-new organization, them coming before you, but if it's people that have routinely gotten licenses from us, I think asking for a 30-day window is excessive, and like I said before, people are human. Sometimes they get wrapped up in planning and they forget some of the things they need until the last minute.
So should we take the same approach to an outdoor event? To be business friendly, in your words.
They all know that an outdoor event requires coming before the board. Because that's a whole different animal.
I don't think it's a whole different animal. It's a major part of these events are the sale of alcoholic beverages, which is our concern. Indoor, outdoor, the difference might be control. Yeah, how well is it? Apparently, it's more easy to control an indoor event than an outdoor event. I think in the past, that's why we want to know what's going on in an outdoor event. We want maps and things.
I will also say, in all the years I've been doing it, and I never heard of anything when Nancy was doing it, there apparently have never ever been any major issues, or it would have gotten back to the liquor board. But that's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
May I? Perhaps if it's a first-time event, it's 30 days, and you have a checklist for people, is that correct? Do you have yeah, so there's a checklist, so they're gonna come to you in advance. Perhaps if it's a first-time event, whether it be indoor or outdoor, it has to be the 30 days in advance. But if it's an event that has happened in the past, that has been approved by the board, we give them the leeway of either the 30 days in advance, or we give them that 7-day window, because, as Joe said, sometimes something slips through the crack, or a lot of these events are volunteer events, so there might be turnover in the volunteer system. Maybe there might be one chairman that's still there, but the people underneath that are helping to run the event might be a little bit different, so there could be the case of slipping through the cracks. And we have the technology now that if something does come into Joe a week before, or to Tim or Keith the week before, that Joe can send out an email to the board members and say, we've got this, can I get your, this is a event that we've had before, yada, 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 the information on it. We've approved it in the past, there are no major changes to the event. Can I get your signature for, your electronic signature for approval?
We can do that now, even if we require 30 days.
Yeah, okay.
So if someone is human and they miss the 30-day rule, Joe can contact the board, and
Right.
the board
That's
can
what I'm just saying,
provide
but
exception.
instead of saying if it's a repeat one, they only have to do it 7 days in advance, not 30 days.
Leave it 30 days in advance, and if they miss it for a good reason, the chairman and the board can consider an exception.
Okay. And maybe put in there, I don't know. Just,
Okay, I've been checking something here else I want to check on, listening to you all there, but I stand by what I said a while ago, until proven otherwise. There's previously, we even thought, and they're supposed to be a 501c3. Nonprofits. We've had nonprofits come in here who may not be nonprofits when everything is divvied up. We go through an extensive investigation for a new license. But for a one-day license, most any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come in here, get a one-day license. All they gotta do is have somebody say that they're the charity that they're representing. I personally don't think 30 days is too much. I don't care if Carroll County Hospital's been doing it for 100 years. They can submit that application for 30 days in advance, and I'm sure they would have no problem with it. We're gonna give them a year to do it. That's my opinion. I'm only one.
I agree with the 30 days if we have we can make exceptions to that rule. With the chairman's,
You know as well as Joe does.
sometimes
There's
things,
been exceptions on the 7 days
yes,
where I've said, go ahead and do it, because they've done it for years.
correct. I would go along with 30 days across the board, but have the option that if something comes up or they don't have it in time, we can have a chairman can make a decision to go forward with it or
It
not.
should be the board make the decision. Chairman should
Well,
consult.
I'm gonna take it to the chairman, and chairman makes the decision. That's how I usually,
He brings it to me, and I decide whether we all need to be here. Give you an example. Starry Night was just at the community college, okay? How many years have they been knowing Starry Night? Wherever it is, okay? Why would it be necessary for me to call the two of you unless there's been a question in the past for Starry Night?
I agree.
I guarantee if there's any question, you're gonna have to say, not me. But something routine, I think we could do. But I'm only one. If you want the 30 days, okay. If you don't want the 30 days, I ain't gonna lose no sleep over it. I'm not gonna obtain counsel by Schaefer, Miller, and so forth.
so, speaking of, can we give her a copy of the changes? Do you want her opinion? Input?
No, no, there's some mistakes in there.
Okay. you want to vote on the 30 days?
I follow the
Well,
chairman.
They have to.
We've already, the board has already
when they
agreed to that.
vote, They're voting on the whole
Okay.
change after the public hearings and
The
everything.
30 days, we've already
Okay,
handled
okay.
that in the previous meeting.
And you want 42 completely taken out.
42?
Joe, while you all were discussing, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to ask about another one. But if it's,
Well, I had
it
thought we
says the
would
same-
start at the front and go through.
Yeah, because we're jumping around, we're gonna miss something.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to do that? Mr. Chairman,
Right.
start at the front?
yeah, sure.
Page 3. That's the new address for the Alcohol Tobacco Commission, Cannabis Commission.
Page, oh, okay, I see
Page
it.
3.
In yellow, yeah, I got you.
Okay? Page 12. State of Maryland, got rid of Carroll County, put the state of Maryland.
Right?
Page 13. Again, state of Carroll County, now state of Maryland.
Right.
And then 3, authorized person, authorized, why do we, I don't know the change on that one.
I don't either.
I don't either.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Page-
this, Dave, right here.
Page 13.
Number 3. No, number 2, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that's just a typo, or a highlight O.
I thought that was already the rule.
Yeah,
It is already ruled.
he's saying I highlighted it by mistake.
Well, you just got happy that day with that highlighter.
Yeah.
Okay. Page 14, state of Maryland again.
So I had a, yeah, this is something that I wanted to put in, because I didn't think it was in our rules that a public hearing should be held when there's an application. But after thinking about it, there are some applications that we do not have a public hearing, we've just been discussing some of them. So I think maybe 7C should read something along the lines of, unless excused by the board, a public hearing shall be held. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I think that's a good add.
I went to Maryland for English, so I'll let you English majors. We had winning football teams when I went to Maryland.
And then page 17, E and F.
All right, I would say unless it's excused by the board for minor matters, because we don't want the board excusing a new application. I don't want anyone to say, you can come in here at the regular meeting or something and say, the board can excuse this. And I think it should just be for minor matters like we just dealt with, not for new applications.
You call a one-day license a minor matter, because that's what we excuse hearings for.
Yeah, well, or you could just say that, excuse for one-day applications.
Okay?
Or you say new or transfer applications.
We were talking about upgrades.
Could be anything. The board just, Tim wants to make it clear.
Minor matters.
Yeah, well, but then we have no definition of a minor matter, so it's,
You could put in I would put in all the potential circumstances and not just say, you can't excuse a new licensee. We don't want anybody coming to a meeting and saying, your rules say you can excuse that. So,
No,
will
actually-
you excuse the hearing for that? No, we don't want them, I'm just saying limit it to whatever you're limiting it to, put it in there.
Doesn't the law require a hearing for a new license? I
It
mean, the law
does, but
requires it.
if you're saying unless the board excuses it, then they may say, well, the law requires it, but you can excuse it. Somebody could come in here and make the argument. We don't need a hearing. And they'll do it for special circumstances.
And then we'll tell them they're wrong.
Okay.
Well, considering that this rule is for applications, you're never not going to have a public hearing for an application. Because this is talking about applications for new or transfer. You're always going to have.
So this Rule 6 does not in any way pertain to per diem applications?
No.
Well, then we should say 6, then we should make that clear, that this rule does not pertain to per diem applications, just to new applications. Maybe have 6 say new applications and/or transfer. Would that make more sense?
That sounds good.
All right, so if we do that, then
You're gonna change the heading, so you let it alone, what's there now.
Okay, so change the heading, and get rid of unless
let's
excused.
excuse by the board.
Okay.
Okay.
So 17, Keith had started, page 17.
Okay, here's my question. On page 17, E and F,
Mm-hmm.
go back to the new rule on 67, page 67. I can't comprehend in my mind that they say the same thing.
I asked the board this and now I tried.
No, just an extra red.
Oh, extra red
I
book?
feel like my pages aren't matching what they're talking about.
It's not,
so now I'm
it's
getting
not.
confused.
Because this,
Oh, because this is a,
oh,
okay. Got it.
sorry.
A holder of any retail license.
We were going to have a public hearing next week.
Yeah, well, F is definitely addressed in the new rule at the end, you know, right? So F is redundant. E shall have at least one licensee trained and approved. Yeah, so they're, you're right.
They say the same thing.
They're both, saying the same thing.
So take out E and F.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Is that what you want to do, Dave?
I just think they say the same thing. You
It
all
does.
might have reasons for why they're both in there. I know the last one on 67,
I don't think it hurts to leave it in.
Kelly, 67 is the new rule that was effective in July. I don't know what page you got, but anyway.
She does not have a book.
Oh, I thought she had a red book.
I do, but mine doesn't show what you're actually talking about.
Or changes.
Oh, it doesn't show it.
Revisions have changed.
Can we give her, no, hold on. Can we give her,
Is this a hearing, is this a public hearing we're having here?
it's a public hearing, yes.
Public, it's open to the public.
Can we give her a copy of,
Yeah, if it's a public hearing.
Here,
I mean, I shouldn't say, let the commissioners get rolling.
I've still got one.
Kelly, you got what he just gave you on page 17.
Well, I would say that the one on page 17 deals with health, fire, and safety requirements. If you want to consider it that, then it could stay in both places, because it definitely applies to the alcohol awareness training section, so.
Yeah, so
It's up
that's
to
right.
you.
So it's like an overlap is what
Yeah.
Mr. Dixon is saying. And,
Again, it's up to you.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it. It's in two different places.
I say
And
leave
there's
it in.
probably a lot of overlap in this book that,
there is. There is.
That was
Yeah.
my question, hell,
Okay.
all it does is take up space, but I just thought, well, it says the same thing. All right, I'm good.
Okay, next one's 23.
Page 23.
We just extended the date that they can turn in renewal applications. Because it used to be March 1 to March 31st, but a lot of people, as soon as they get the application, they turn it in. So, and I don't have a problem with that.
Gives you more time.
Yeah.
And also doesn't get lost if they fill it out and they lose it somewhere in their pile of stuff on the desk or something. Because I've seen some people's desks, it looks. I'm not saying not naming names.
I've seen that desk before, too.
And then B is what, we
Thank
agreed
you.
on. And we made it part of the renewal application, but it wasn't in the rule book yet.
Okay. All righty.
You got that old state of Maryland again, huh?
Yeah, page 25 and 26. And then 28, this is the one you wanted, Dave. D, if the email address changes because of change of licensee, the board must be notified of the new email address immediately.
Where do you say that at?
Page 28.
Oh, hell, I had one stick together, I'm sorry.
That sounds like a good change to me.
I just thought that, we ought to have the email license, or license.
Yeah,
We should
no,
have the
you're right.
email address.
Yep. Yeah. So 29 and 30 is just adding definitions.
I'm glad we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I always missed that being there.
And this is only for restaurants.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, there's another.
And there's another grid somewhere,
There's
right?
another,
Yeah.
chart with all of them.
Yeah.
And then 31, I think all we did was.
We changed the numbers.
just do one paragraph and we made it two.
Right, I remember we discussed that somewhere along the line here.
And then 32, again, it's just the further definition of those two classes.
4 and 5 is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can we back up one quick? Okay, never mind. I see why. Okay, never mind. I saw my mistake.
Come on, you cops gotta get with us.
So we're okay with page 32?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did not really dig into that, but I trust your definitions as being accurate, so.
Yeah, it just expands on the one line we had previously.
Okay.
Okay, page 36. We just were clarifying that it's 8 AM the following day. They can't have music between 10 and 8.
So they can't count the ball down on New Year's Eve?
They can, because there actually is a state law that allows it.
Yeah.
That overrules that, there is one state law that overrules that one day. I mean, we talked about making it 2 AM also.
That's a little late.
Yeah.
Keep it at 10 p.m.
But 8 AM is starting a new day in the cycle, because they can sell alcohol at 8 AM the next day.
Mechanical music boxes and other sound-making devices. So, live music can be played at 8:01 AM
Mhm.
under our rules?
And the county rule too.
Can't-
Yeah.
Under
Noise
county
ordinance
reg?
rule. Yep.
The noise ordinance.
What was that?
The noise ordinance.
The noise ordinance, yes.
And the new NORS ordinance doesn't have anything about decibel levels, does it?
Nope, they got rid of decibel levels because you have to be certified on the meter, and the meter needs to be calibrated, and they weren't.
Like radar operators at state police barracks.
That doesn't happen.
I guarantee you all the sheriff's radar things are calibrated, right?
So 38 is just state of Maryland. 39 is the chart.
That's the reason I don't want to
Yep.
go down that rabbit hole yet, that's a lot.
That's a good chart. That's in our welcome package, right?
No?
No?
Not the new chart, no. No, there might be
This chart is not in our welcome package?
we just came up with it, so
Oh, really? It's good.
I don't know, there might be a chart in the welcome
There might
packet.
be a fee sheet,
There's a fee sheet in the welcome packet that,
yeah, which is similar, but not,
I got you.
not that exactly.
Huh. Yeah, here it is. Fee schedule.
yeah.
Yeah, which,
It's a little
it breaks it down to, you know,
It definitely is the same information as in the first two columns.
Correct.
Yeah.
The next page Keith gets to talk about.
What are we changing?
I just highlighted this for discussion purposes.
Oh.
There haven't been any changes made yet.
So this is the existing rule.
This is existing.
It's highlighted. Okay.
if you're saying, if a place has some town has between 1 and 4,999.
A town we're talking about, or
Location.
district?
District, town, because some of our towns is districts. Manchester's is a town, but there's a district of
But it's
Manchester
also
also.
a district.
Right. Make sense?
But they can be different, right?
No, they're all considered only that one district.
These all refer to districts, so.
Okay. So Westminster has the city of Westminster and the district of Westminster. The district of Westminster say the city be 7A.
Okay.
Okay? My question is, or my understanding, I don't understand. Every 5,000 people have one liquor license. So,
In that district,
in that district.
It's 10,000.
But if you have 6,000, but this saying
It's 0 to 9.
99, 0 to 9,999 is only one license. I think it should be two licenses.
All right. We're in granting of license rule. License shall be issued for each additional 5,000 people of actual population of election districts.
In district. And there's 14 electric districts, I think?
now, you got too many attorneys in here for what I'm gonna say. Okay? The way I interpret that, to get a license,
Okay,
okay, it goes up to 999
for the first one.
for the first license.
Okay,
If you got in the next category, which is 15,000,
10,000 to 15,000.
10 to 15, you're eligible for another license.
Okay,
That's it. Then the next category, you get 3 licenses.
correct. That's what it is now.
That's how I read it.
That's what the intention was when the liquor law was first adopted.
Okay, because
Carol.
and I'm being,
I know
zero-
what you're
0 to
saying.
5
You're
should be
saying-
1.
What you're saying is if you got 9,999, you think you ought to have 2.
2.
That's not the point. The point was a license cannot be held for liquor in Carroll County unless you have 10,000 people,
Okay,
okay?
I'm-
If you got 15,000, you can get 2. If you got 20 and so on and so forth. I ain't worried about it anyway, because there's only one district that's eligible for a license, and that's Uniontown. And with all the ones that's been grandfathered in, we ain't gotta worry about population for a while. Manchester, as you know,
Is the
within
closest one.
Within a couple hundred.
right. If we were to go, because my thinking is, and I go with the board, and I'm agree with the board, 0 to 5,000, you get one, 6,000 to 10,000 should be the second one, 10,000, 15,000 would be the
said.
third one.
That's not what you said, is it?
That's not what
No,
I
no, I'm
said.
saying, I'm saying my opinion.
Oh, so you disagree with the board?
I disagree with the board.
Oh, okay, I thought you said you agree with the board.
No, but I'll go what the board decides.
Okay, I got you.
When the liquor law was passed, the idea was 10,000, okay? You get one license,
Up to 10,000, right.
up to 10,000, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's fine.
And there's only one, Uniontown's the only district that doesn't have a licensee. Who's gonna put one in Uniontown? Somebody.
We've had calls, it hasn't happened yet, but we've had calls.
That's because Uniontown itself would not allow it.
They ain't gonna let you.
And the only other place is Frizzlburg, and there's only like 3
And Tyrone,
properties in Frizzlburg that are,
Zoned.
commercial zone.
commercial.
I guarantee you,
Apparently, nobody wants to sell those 3
I
properties.
guarantee you, if it had been profitable, Ms. Roten would have had it in Frizzlsburg 50 years ago.
Okay, so we're leaving that the same.
Well, thanks for bringing it up.
No, it never made sense to me.
I mean, I never really thought about,
It never made sense to me, but
Okay.
if that's the law staying after 10,000, it's fine, then it's,
okay, yeah.
Okay, next one's on page 43.
As Tim says, that's the way it's always been.
so, after,
Not usually, I don't,
Now, that's what Joe says.
Yes, that's what Joe said.
so 0 to 5,000 should be 1. Right.
Tim says you can do anything you want.
Yeah, that's what.
That's what I say, yeah, that's me.
That's what I'm saying, should this be taken down or changed?
So page 43, I think Keith wanted this added.
I mean, they don't cooperate with you.
Yeah, because they don't cooperate with me. But I want it in work, licensees should cooperate with all representatives of all government agencies. I wanted to say liquor board inspectors and with other. So I won't put me in there definitely, so you can't argue that I'm not a government agency. And Bill here too.
Isn't there not another rule somewhere else that refers to that?
I don't think so. I think it's only cooperation.
No. There's another rule that
That allows them to go
that's
on the
about
premises.
inspections.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of,
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, the inspections, I can do the inspections. But I just wanted to add just the word liquor board inspectors. Because this is like my catch-all, when they don't cooperate, this is like a catch-all charge.
Like for the guy that he told 3 times to do something and he didn't do it, and we had a hearing for him. That could be the charge right there.
I would make a change to that. Licensee shall cooperate with the licensing board, comma, its employees, comma, and the liquor board inspector. They should cooperate with all of us. Or licensee.
Well, if they don't cooperate, you guys just say no.
That's what the change I suggest, that it should be a little bit clear that the liquor board inspector, in addition to the liquor board, in addition to employees and staff.
When will you interact with them outside this hearing?
Whenever I walk into a place. I'm allowed to walk into a place.
Yeah, as a,
You want me to go out in the car and get that badge?
just because you have a badge doesn't mean you're, if you guys want to give yourself power to do that, I can't argue with it. I don't think you should
Power to do what? Power to do what, Keith?
to go in and demand stuff from the,
The law actually gives it to us, state law gives it to us. Your ability to make inspections is a delegation from this board. The state law says we may have an inspector, doesn't require us to have an inspector. You want me to bring, if you want me to,
I got the,
So state law, section 4-109,
I think that's the wrong section.
statements of owner of premises. The application shall also include a statement executed and acknowledged by the owner of the location where the business is to be conducted that agrees to the issuance of the license and authorizes a warrantless search and a warrantless inspection and search of the premises at any time in any part of the building in which the business is to be conducted by, 1, the controller, that's gone, 2, the local licensing board and its authorized agents and employees, or 3, a peace officer of the county or municipality.
Well, the state laws actually say executive director, 2. That's the new, they got rid of the controller, and the executive director is the
That's
person in
fine.
charge of
Okay,
APCC.
yeah, I'm not quibbling about that.
But it also says local license board and its authorized agents.
Right.
So it's
We're the
not
local
may, it's not may, it's and. So we're both allowed to do,
And its authorized agent.
and it's not saying may. You said,
No,
you said
no.
earlier, you said may.
All right, well, if you hold on a second.
Okay.
State law says we may have an inspector. There are liquor boards who don't have to, liquor boards don't have to have an inspector under state law.
But all liquor boards do have inspectors.
I'm saying, state law says we may have a staff, we may have an inspector.
And that's on the, my argument, that's on the required information about, that's on the application.
Yeah.
I think if you look at 6-202, which is the same wording,
6-202.
right, it's the same thing. I think that fits more with that section than 4-109.
Are we still on cooperation?
Yes.
Again, I stand by my position that it should say liquor board inspectors and liquor board, just like the application says.
You said licensing board, its employees, and the liquor board inspectors.
Yeah,
That was the wording you gave.
okay. That's what I'll suggest.
We're still gonna let you in.
What was that?
We're still gonna let you in.
Okay. That's, as I said, if you guys want to give yourself more power, that's,
I just don't want you taking our power away, Keith.
how am I taking your power away when
You want us not to be able to make an inspection, correct?
go, I didn't think you wanted that job. I didn't think, you're not getting paid to go there. You're not being, if you're going as a liquor board representative, I think it's out of place, but if you wanted to give yourself that power, I agree with
You think
it.
it's
I
out-
got a job to do inspection. I'm hired to do inspections. Bill is gonna be hired to do inspections in age compliance. You guys wanna go out and do age compliance checks? Go.
No.
I don't think
No,
I don't think
Have
that's
I
part
ever
of your
done that?
job.
Has anyone ever done that?
Keith, that's not what he's saying.
No, but I'm saying, has the liquor board ever gone out and done an inspection?
We're talking about warrantless searches. It's not just a formal inspection. If I'm in a restaurant, Keith, if I'm in a restaurant and someone comes up to me and says, there's a violation going on over there, right? And I go into that room, that could be viewed as a warrantless inspection.
Okay, we're not talking about inspection right now, we're talking about cooperation. I agree, if you want to get into the inspection side of it, yes, I can, but in cooperation, only thing we're doing is asking them to cooperate with me, asking to cooperate with the inspector.
Shouldn't they cooperate with me if I'm in a bar and I see something and I ask a question?
No, I don't think they should.
Okay,
I don't think you're trained, I don't think you have the experience to do that.
okay, well, I disagree with your opinion. I think I am trained to ask a question if I'm in a licensee's establishment.
But again, you guys make the decision how you want to word it. But I don't think it should go here. I don't think that's what cooperation is. I think it should go down when we talk about inspections.
I think that, George, and with representatives of all governmental agencies. Are we not a governmental agency?
Are we an agent? Is a commission an agency?
You are required to exist by the state. So you are a government agency.
So,
And then if you keep on reading, it says, are acting in their official capacities. To go and do an inspection as a liquor board member, I don't think that's official capacity.
So now we're asking our licensees to make that rhetorical leap that this board is a government agency instead of just saying it. Instead of just saying, you're to cooperate with the board, you're to cooperate with the inspectors.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that by definition, you're a government agency.
Okay. Well, let's look at the old rule. Well, by the old rule, it says licensees shall cooperate with representatives of all government agencies, and that covers Keith.
I just asked it to be defined, my position as inspector to be defined in that rule. I'm fine if you want to take it out, I'm fine if you guys want to add. I just think cooperation goes along with inspections. Cooperation does not go along, yeah, they're going to cooperate when they come in front of you. I don't think it's part of your official capacities as a plain citizen to walk in and they looking at you as a plain citizen, you say, I'm part of the liquor board, I want to do an inspection. I just don't think that's part of
I
your.
don't do that. If I'm in an establishment and there's a violation going on, I'm a representative of the county board of license commissioners.
I believe you can become a witness. I think you're a witness.
Well, I disagree with that too. Because it will come before the board.
Correct, but
I don't-
you'll be, and who's going to file the paperwork? Would you file the paperwork? I'm going to file the paperwork, I'm going to put you down as a witness.
All right?
Because I was not there, so you could have to excuse yourself from the board, and you would come as a witness and testify
Okay.
as a witness.
And then me being on the board defeats the argument that it was a warrantless search because of our rules.
You're a witness, you don't need to have a warrant to search, you're a witness, you're witnessing something, you're not going in, you're not pulling.
If I ask to go into a room where I hear there's illegal activity, you're telling me I can't, that I have to call an officer?
I think that falls underneath a government agency. I think you fall underneath the government agency. I don't think Rule 38, the cooperation, is what when we talk about inspections, that's when I think that's where it should fall in. Cooperation, no. I don't think that, you fall underneath the government agency.
All right, well, I think we're spending too much time on this. Let's
Yeah,
do the way it is.
You got a question, Brooke?
Just a quick question,
Sure.
and this is, I'm just asking. You are both retired police officers.
Correct.
If you're a police officer and you're at an establishment and you're drinking alcohol, and you've got a side, and I don't know if this is, you're not allowed to engage your sidearm, correct? Because you've been taking part in alcohol. If a board member was at an event and there was and something illegal was happening, and if, as board members, if we had been consuming alcohol, does that same rule apply then, because we've got alcohol in our system? Again, I'm just asking. To me, that would make sense. So I see both sides of this, and I understand exactly what George is saying, that if he walks into a place and somebody says, hey, I think there's underage drinking over there, George is like, I'm a member of the liquor board, I can ask to see that ID, and I think that's perfectly fine. I think same thing with it, then that we should show that exactly how you put it here, the cooperation. So I don't think there's anything wrong with either one of this, but I think the delineation has to come is if, as a board member, an active board member, and I'm not usually an active board member, so I'm just saying this today, the outside looking in, we have to, if there's been alcohol in our system, then maybe we should not be doing that. Does that make sense? Or that's where you pick up the phone and you call the liquor inspector or the police department?
What I'm trying to say is, I agree, I think it should fall on, this argument should be following underneath inspections. It should not be following under cooperation.
Okay, I agree with both
I
of you.
think, in my personal opinion, even with this discussion, the old rule covers the whole damn works without naming anything.
Okay.
So just change back to the old.
Change it. You agreeable with that?
Yeah.
Change it back to the old rule.
Okay.
Okay, 44.
Yeah. Turns out a passport is not valid. Electronic IDs issued by the state are valid.
And I have, if anyone wants to see the state law, I have the state law here.
Is that in the alcoholic beverage article, that passports are not IDs?
Just changed it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. What's, is that 6 what?
6-305.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Now,
That's something.
and Tim's gonna have to answer this question. Can the board add passports? Can we, or,
No, we can't change what the state, if the state law doesn't allow it, we can't add it.
Wow, that's interesting.
that's.
They just took
I
it
never
out.
remembered how
We
that works.
discussed this last week. They took it out and added electronic IDs.
Correct.
I don't like them, but that's state law too, so.
That's interesting.
And I've been, when I teach the class, I've been advising the board does not want, like, electronic IDs. And have you seen the electronic ID? It's on Apple, and I think it's now on Frick. All right.
Show it to them, I've seen them.
Okay, so it pops up in Maryland Crab. Then you hit information, and then you hit driver's, and then this comes up. This is off the MVA website. And you hit driver's license, and you have to do Face ID, and it brings up all my information.
So the phone looks at your face before it brings it up.
Correct.
Oh,
So is that available on Androids?
I believe it is. I know at one time it was just Apple, but
where did you, how do you get that on Apple? I want one of those.
Aren't you glad you
Kelly,
came?
you got one
Yeah,
of them?
I'm like, oh, but I'd also like to know. Yeah, I know, I'm like, I want one of those, because I don't know.
try Maryland driver's license app.
Maryland driver's license app?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling Kelly and I will be doing that today. That's very,
Yeah, Maryland Mobile ID Home.
Maryland Mobile ID Home.
Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, Samsung Wallet, and ID for businesses.
Joe, you got one of them?
What'd you say,
You got a
Maryland?
fancy phone, I got a flip
What,
phone,
Keith,
I can't
Keith,
get
what
one.
did you say, Maryland? I'm still,
Maryland Mobile ID Home.
mobile, okay, Maryland Mobile ID.
Okay, so moving on.
Yes,
We're getting rid of 42 completely
42.
because it's duplicated under,
Oh, right, okay.
Huh,
so
yep.
the next change is page 54. We're gonna change special to per diem.
Page
then
54?
30
Okay, yeah, all right.
And 30 days prior to any event, whether indoor or outdoor.
So on C, you highlighted may.
Yeah,
What, did there used to be something else?
yeah,
It used to be shall?
I think so.
What number are we on?
49.
49?
Rule 49C on page
49C.
54. What Rule 49C
Yeah.
usually?
So it says, the current rule says shall be purchased.
Yeah, they're allowed to buy the liquor from distributor and from a local, local
And
packaged
from
goods store.
retail stores.
Okay, so what's different?
Well, shall would mean they had to buy from a retail dealer.
Oh, okay, so they had to,
May makes it that they can do retail or
oh,
wholesale.
okay, or wholesale, I got it, okay.
Okay, and next page, G. At least one licensee must be alcohol awareness trained in state certified program.
And if we get rid of special, you want F has special in it too.
Right, so
All specials are becoming per
Yeah.
diem.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
And this talks about, just about this, to be per diem license, so we're requiring the alcohol training for licensee.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This section just talks about,
This rule?
yeah, this rule just talks about per diem license.
Right, okay.
So we want to add G just to cover per diem license.
Okay, page 57, State of Maryland.
I do have a question about that, though. So, the license, so let's say, in the case of the Crab Cake Festival, the license was issued to who?
Meals on Wheels.
Okay, so Meals on Wheels was a charity.
Correct.
And Meals on Wheels, let's say theoretically, had nothing to do with the event.
Right.
They were just the recipient. But we're going to require one of the Meals on Wheels people to be trained.
Have alcohol awareness training, yes.
Okay.
But, not to really sidetrack it, those rules might be changing again,
What, our rules or somebody else's rules?
state's rules
Okay.
about,
Okay,
so it might be able to be catered by mothers without getting a one-day license. That, there's a whole,
it might be okay, what?
Mother's Bar and Grill catered
Oh.
the alcohol. So, down the road, next year, they might not need to get a one-day license. There are some changes going on with the one-day licenses. The businesses might be able to go back onto Main Street, like the Strolls, like they used to be, you could had business would be able to sell alcohol at the Strolls. Last year, we had to change it because the state law changed, or the state, law didn't change, the interpretation of the state law
that's right.
changed. It might be being changed back to the old way.
And you said something about mothers, isn't that Baltimore City?
Yes, but they had a state carrying license, and they might be able to just use their state carrying license instead of getting Meals on Wheels getting a one-day liquor license. There's a lot of things going on state level that I'm trying,
Right.
January, February, I'll know more. Right now, it's not a good time to,
Okay.
What allowed Martin's in Westminster, the last few events they had, the state allowed
That's right, yeah.
Marty to use his
Yeah.
license from the Beltway.
so
Right.
there's, new people are talking and things got changed and they might go back to, but I don't want to sidetrack it, that's something down the road that,
Yeah,
Okay, let's move on. Page 57, State of Maryland appears again.
Yep.
59, we're taking revocation or non-renewal out. And changing the minimum hours requirement, is that right?
it just, it didn't, the title never made any sense to the section.
right. And also, we don't like to revoke. And I thought it kind of,
Yeah,
wait a minute. Oh, it's just a title you're changing.
yeah, I'm just giving you the title. It talked about minimum hours, but it doesn't say anything about minimum, it says revocation and non-renewal.
That's why it may be, okay, I see. So all you're doing is changing the title, okay. Got it.
Because this is the one I could never find in the book. People ask me, how many hours, where is it? I'm like, it took me to find it.
Okay.
Okay, the next page, we just added free drinks.
Free drinks.
They're prohibited.
Drinking
They're
games,
prohibited.
Free drinks.
And page 61, we made a rule, licensed establishments are prohibited from giving away free drinks. It's a state law, but people ask me all the time, can we give away free drinks? But if you charge a penny, you're fine. And the bartender can't give out shots to his people at the bar. And drinking
Let's say have a
water.
penny up front.
And then working at the bar after serving on underage mate, but that,
That never happens.
yeah. I wish I could tell these stories and never happened.
Okay, 65, page 65, Rule 66. We want to add The local licensing board,
Well, I think it should be the same rule we had, just change controller to Alcohol, Tobacco, and Cannabis Commission. Right? Wasn't
That's
that
all
what?
it says here. That one I got.
It takes out language, which was inadvertently deleted. Right, Joe? Some
yes.
This was inadvertently taken out,
Yeah, when I put in
so I just want to put it back.
an inspector
An agent.
of, I actually took out, when I put of in, I took out a comma, not realizing that it changed the meaning.
Change the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rewrite or something, but, so, what I'm suggesting is that we just, only thing that we change is the name of the first entity, which is Comptroller to Alcohol, Tobacco, and Cannabis Commission. So we keep the same rule, which is based on the language. This rule is based on the language which I read earlier in the alcoholic beverage article.
So we're keeping old wording, just changing ATCC.
Now, and then on page 62, controller should be executive director.
Page 62.
Executive director, authorized deputy inspector, or clerk of the Maryland ATCCC.
Okay, right in the middle of the page, there's Comptroller.
Yeah. The last line, that should be executive director. 'Cause that's his title.
In the middle of the page.
I see it in the middle of the page.
Page 62?
Yeah.
Are you looking in the old book or
Oh,
the?
oh, shoot, I'm looking at the old book. I got wrong book. Sorry. Page 65. Yeah.
Page
There's 62 of the proposed changes.
Yeah,
Comptroller's in the middle, and that's just an oversight, right? We will,
That should, in the middle of the page 62, should be executive director instead of comptroller.
yep.
Okay.
Well, it should also be on page 64 then, it's in the middle of the page.
60.
Comptroller.
Right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah, we need to go through and check, clean out of controllers.
Well, Goldstein don't have a job anymore, huh?
It's Jeff Kelly, Jeff Kelly now.
Stands guard down in Annapolis.
So then, page 66, we corrected a section.
Right.
And then we took out wording and changed it to what the, is this where we replace it with what the state law says?
Yes, this is the email I sent you that, that we corrected again. So this is my understanding of the state law.
So everybody's okay with that?
I think the fines are prescribed by state law, right?
Yes.
By the
Yeah.
rule that we did, yeah.
If you want to see the state law, I have it printed out. Yes, I think I did. I did.
I'll take one to put in the file if you have an extra, but,
I did have
I'm
it
pretty sure
printed.
that this corresponds to it.
Okay, we reached the end?
Yep. So, I will
new one comes out, you can have it recycle with the best of them.
I will make the changes and advertise for next month
Right.
for a public hearing on the suggested changes.
So, okay, so when we do that, do we have one of these to hand out with, in yellow?
But the page numbers will still not be right. That'll be the last thing I do.
For some reason, George, I have the first page, but I don't have
It's all
the
right.
next two other pages.
I got it, somewhere.
Okay. Any other comments on the rule changes? Hearing none,
I think they did a great job,
they did.
our staff.
You did too. The rest of you, all of you.
And Joe gets to pick the color.
Green. You had green before.
We have yellow, blue, red.
Orange.
Last time I sat up at this dais, we all, not you all, big discussion on colors. Was the colors that the zoning board puts up, black, white, green, yellow, red, God.
When did they change, because they did just change a couple years ago to green? Easy A.
It's probably been 3 years now. Some entity chose green for BZA.
Well, Bale probably had something to do with that, because he was
No.
on the Planning and Zoning Commission when we discussed all that. Anyways, anything else on the agenda that I don't have?
Can I add one thing?
Yes, sir.
Getting back to the cooperation part, I'm speaking for myself with my experience. It's a lot easier for me just to go right to the book, because we'll have people, and Keith will tell you, even as a police officer, they're constantly, they don't want to listen, I don't need to listen to you kind of stuff. Just to have it that we can go somewhere quickly and say, it's in that book, under cooperation, the inspectors. It's not an authority thing, it is more of just somewhere where we can go and say, look, you don't have a choice. Is that why you wanted it?
Well,
Because
they do have a
we do
choice.
argue.
No, they have a choice, but if they make the wrong choice, they're in violation.
Right, but it's a lot clearer if you just say, Liquor board
Ends
inspector.
it ends an argument when it's in there in black and white.
yeah, and it says specifically who we are. And me personally, I don't have any
Suppose-
problem the way you're wording it yourself as well.
Suppose MSP or the Sheriff's Department goes in. They're not named in there. They're a governmental agency.
But they fall underneath the government agency part.
So do you.
But I deal with it more often, but as I said, if you guys don't want to give it to me, that's
How
fine.
many times, let me ask you a question. How many times have you appeared before us since you've been an inspector? Okay? When we've reviewed any cases or anything else that you've said, other than they've been very cooperative? How many
About
times?
10 times.
10 times. Name me.
What?
Name me a couple.
Parks Landing, when he threw the beer, got angry. EJ's, when they threatened to cut up the ID of my volunteer. Recently, you'll see this next month. There's one coming up next month that you're gonna come deal with.
But they knew you were an inspector.
But they didn't,
All those times, they never questioned that you were our inspector, right?
but they didn't listen to what I say. The time Tim said with the license, it took him 3 times to finally listen to me.
So if you pull this out and show the rule, the guy would not have thrown the beer?
But then he stormed off. I had to go chase after him. He wasn't cooperating. He
You
called,
charge him. You charge him.
And as I said, I'm not gonna argue. You guys, you're the board. I'm gonna go by what decisions you guys make. I'm fine with whatever wording you do.
It's just a couple words.
We already decided what the rule was.
That's fine. As I said,
I could appreciate the fact, okay? I'm sure they didn't respect either one of you when you were Law enforcement.
Yeah, it was a lot different when I could just hit them and then put them in my car, take them away.
Let me ask you this. Keith, don't you have a badge?
Mhm.
And you think that that rule would carry more weight than you flashing that badge?
It's in black and white.
It's
No,
in
the-
black and white now.
What?
It's in black and white now.
Okay, I was just trying to define it a little bit better. In my opinion, and I said, I didn't think, just want to lay it out, so, because I second guess, I mean, not second guess, but, does it, yes, I'm a governor. I just make it, I think it streamlines it, it makes it exactly saying inspector of the liquor board, and that's who I am, that's who we are, and it defines it, plus other government agencies. So they can't say, no, you're not government. Well, I work for the county government. Yes, you guys are government agency. You work for Carroll County. You're paid by Carroll County. You come to Carroll County building, you're a government agency. You're a state agency also, but you're also a county agency too.
See, that's interesting. You just said we're a state agency and a county
You're a
agency.
state agency. The liquor laws make you a state board. But I also think you're a county agency too, because you work for the county. It's hosted in the county building.
Hey, Kelly, keep this, it may become of historical value somewhere down the line here.
If you come in my basement, you can probably find a green one from me.
Yeah, right, okay.
Now, do you have the light blue and the yellow one?
I probably. Don't question Clark's,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I almost hit your father yesterday. He was walking across the street.
because he doesn't look.
Yes, he doesn't.
He looks down.
Okay. Do we have a preview of what we might have next month?
You have 3 violations.
3 violations. And the hearing. Right? And the hearing.
And hearing portion on the docket. And then we have the 10 a.m. Any applications?
Don't have anything yet.
You probably won't have anything for January for the upgrading license. That won't probably happen until February, March.
Anything else to be brought before this august body? Do not forget, 3rd Wednesday of January, the 15th, at 10 a.m. in this room.
And you're always welcome, if you come up on the 8th, you're always welcome to come up to the office.
We could go to the library up there.
That's the
Yeah,
18th.
we do. We're gonna have to sign it
Wednesday the 15th.
We're gonna have to sign the decision, right? So we do have to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking, for the first time, we don't have to come in and sign something, but we do.
You might want to come in and look at the third case of the hearing, the third case we're having.
So next month is the 15th.
Yes.
Yep. When you come in to sign, you might want to look at the,
Okay. Thank you.
If there's nothing else, here and ever, hold your peace. Mister, you can do anything you want. Do you have anything else to say?
No, sir. He said you can do anything you want, Dave, so.
all right, collision course. Anybody wants to go for lunch at collision course?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Hey, to
everyone.
you. Leaving us? Don't
No,
forget,
I
now
have
you gotta
I had a
sign-
meeting that started 10 minutes ago.
Don't forget,
Have to come in to sign.
Oh, okay.
sign this.
Oh, what do I have to do?
Here
I'll
come
let
again.
you know.
Okay.
You've got to sign your name
Okay,
on the decision.
okay, yes, sir.
There's 3 of them on there. You can practice your penmanship,
Okay, I can do that.
because I'm the only ones that you can read. I won't
Have you met
mention any
Tim?
names, but
Have you met
can't
Bill?
tell what they are.
Yep. He's gonna be the new Sherry.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Kelly, good seeing you.
January 16th.
Have a good one. Bill, nice meeting you, Keith. Merry
Say Merry Christmas.